Hello everyone, I'm Dr. Sneha Nair and in this today's second video lecture of semester 5 chemistry paper number 303 physical chemistry unit 1 thermodynamics, we are going to study the various other parameters that are used while studying the thermodynamic processes. Now, if I take into consideration, as you can recall from the last lecture, we have already started regarding the various thermodynamic systems and the surroundings that are generally present. And also we have studied in detail regarding the extensive and the intensive properties of the system. Now, in this coming video lecture, we'll be studying regarding what are the thermodynamic parameters or processes that occur in the thermodynamic study. Now, let's just quickly understand that any method wherein is involving the state of the system and that state of the system is going to be changed. So that type of parameters or that type of study is called as the thermodynamic processes. Now the simplest way of understanding is, for example, if I say I have a solid and on this solid I'm applying, I'm giving up, I'm changing the temperature conditions and everything. So what is going to happen is the solid is going to get converted into liquid and this liquid is then further converting into what? Gaseous substances. So what exactly I'm doing is that I'm going to entirely change the state of the system and this change of the system is called as what? A process. Now the processes can be readily affected by any state variable. If I change, that is, if I change the pressure or the temperature or the concentration, that is the volume, all that changes that I'm going to take up in the chemical reactions or in the physical changes that are going to be resulted into the thermodynamic processes. Now there are certain processes that you have commonly studied. The very first is called as the isothermal process. Now if I want to understand what exactly is isothermal, see, iso means anything which is same, okay? So same, and thermal means what? Anything which involves heat. So isothermal means what? That any process which is carried out at constant temperature conditions that are called as isothermal processes. Now in isothermal processes, what exactly is going to happen is that the exchange of heat between the system and surrounding will not, that is, it will take place at wherein the temperature is equal to 0. तो दैट काइंड ऑफ सिस्टम एंड सराउंडिंग में जो भी एक्सचेंज हो रहा है हीट का, जब टेम्परेचर की वैल्यू मैं कांस्टेंट रख रही हूँ या 0 रख रही हूँ, so that type of systems are called as isothermal processes. Now we'll take up adiabatic in the later stage. We have isobaric processes. Isobaric processes are that kind of processes which will be carried out at constant pressure conditions. That is, herein the value of dP is equal to either 0 or obviously a constant value if I'm taking the isobaric equations into consideration. Then the third one, the commonly used one, is called as the isochoric processes, wherein in isochoric processes always the value of volume is equal to 0. That is, the value of dV is equal to 0. Now, if sometimes what happens is we just kind of get confused that what exactly might be isothermal or isobaric or isochoric. So the simplest way of remembering is that in thermal, we know that temperature or heat change is going to take place. So the way of remembering is that in isothermal, always the temperature value is going to be 0 or a constant factor. Then we have the isobaric. So we already know that the unit to measure the pressure is called as what? Bar. So जब भी ऐसा आए, तो what we can write is that in the isobaric processes, what generally is happening is that it is generally taken up into consideration at constant pressure conditions. Okay. Now then we have the isochoric processes. Now what exactly are the isochoric processes is that whenever the process is carried out at constant volume or dV value is equal to 0, that type of processes were called as the isochoric processes. Now let us just move on now to the adiabatic process. What will happen in the adiabatic process? It is a type of process wherein no exchange of heat is going to take place. Okay? Even if the temperature of the system is increasing or decreasing during the adiabatic process, there won't be any single exchange of heat that is occurring. So what we can assume from here is that the value of dQ is equal to 0 in the case of adiabatic processes. Then we have the reversible or the irreversible reactions or the processes that we understand. So reversible processes are going to be what? Simplest way of understanding is, see, I've taken A, okay, I've reacted it with B, and then I'm telling that the product that has been formed during this reaction is what? AB. For example, simplest way, if you want to understand that I've taken A, I'm reacting it with another reactant B, and the product form is AB. So if this AB can slip back again to A and B individual states, so that type of processes are called as what? Reversible processes. Now reversible processes are generally always indicated by two half arrows, means what? That if the reactants have combined and they have resulted into the product formation, they can again, product can again slip back to the reactant stage. Then we have the another one which is called as the irreversible process. The irreversible processes are that kind of processes which are going to take place very rapidly. That is, they are occurring at a very spur of the moment. The moment they're combining and then the product is formed. So what will happen is they're not able to reverse. And generally all the natural processes that we know are reversible in nature. That is, are irreversible in nature. All the major products. Now, if I just have to give a difference between the reversible and the irreversible process, how am I going to explain it? See, the driving force and the opposing force are going to differ by a small amount in reversible process. On the contrary, if I talk about the irreversible process, they're going to differ by a large amount. Why? Because they're not getting reversed, or they're not getting, they're not getting again slipped back to the same reactant stage. Reversible are always slow process, while irreversible processes are going to be a very rapid process. ठीक है? Then हमेशा क्या याद रखना है कि work जो obtained होता है, that is more in the case of reversible. In the case of irreversible, it is less. It is obviously an imaginary process, while it is a real process. क्योंकि reverse करना बहुत difficult हो जाता है. It will involve many steps, while it will have only two steps. That is the initial and the final. मतलब हमने जो product reactants combine कराए वो, and जो product बन गया वो, ठीक है? It can occur in both directions. It can occur only in one direction. अब इसमें हम वेरिएबल्स को चेंज करके रिवर्स करा सकते हैं, इसमें हम रिवर्स नहीं करा सकते, ठीक है? तो अब कुछ और पैरामीटर्स जो आपके स्टडी में पहले से आते थे, दे वर कॉल्ड एज द इंटरनल एनर्जी, और व्हिच इज आल्सो डिनोटेड बाय यू और ई. Now what do we understand by the internal energy or U or E? The simplest way of understanding is कि जो भी एनर्जी, नाम में क्या लिखा है? इंटरनल. तो एनी एनर्जी विच इज स्टोर्ड इन द सब्सटेंस, सब्सटेंस के अंदर जो भी एनर्जी स्टोर्ड है by obviously the virtue of its constituent atoms and molecules, that will be called as what? Internal energy. अब internal energy किस चीज का बना होगा? It will be combined energy of vibration, then we have rotation, then we have electronic energy. तो जब का कॉम्बिनेशन बनता है, ऐसी प्रकार की एनर्जी जो बनती है, उसको हम कहते थे as internal energy, which is always indicated by U or E. Then we have the another parameter which is called as enthalpy, जिसका दूसरे वर्ड में अगर मैं कहना चाहूँ तो उसको heat content of the system के नाम से भी कहा जाता था, and it is always denoted by H. Now what exactly is enthalpy? तो हमेशा हमको याद रखना है that enthalpy will be the sum of internal energy which is E plus pressure and volume. ठीक है? तो H की वैल्यू क्या हो जाती थी? H which is enthalpy was equal to E, that is the internal energy plus pressure and volume. ठीक है? तो अब उसका यूनिट क्या हो जाता है? That is किलोजूल पर मोल, क्योंकि प्रेशर एंड वॉल्यूम कितना चेंज हो रहा है by the work done of a system, that will be considered, and that can give us an idea regarding the enthalpy of the system. Now there are certain laws of thermodynamics which आपने obviously पढ़े हैं. चलो zeroth law of thermodynamics के बारे में शायद आइडिया नहीं होगा, because हम ये कोर्स अभी ये सेमेस्टर में पढ़ने वाले हैं. लेकिन अभी as of now we'll just understand what exactly is the zeroth law of thermodynamics by the statement. ठीक है? तो zeroth law क्या हो जाता है? That is only and only concerned with the thermal equilibrium between the bodies. तो उन्होंने क्या बोला कि अगर दो systems if by somehow are in thermal equilibrium with one another, then automatically the third will be the thermal equilibrium with each other. ठीक है? So that was called as the zeroth law of thermodynamics. A quick revision of the first law of thermodynamics was, this was also called as a law of conservation of energy. हम क्या करा रहे थे? We already know that energy can neither be created nor be destroyed. It can only be converted from one form to another. तो लॉ ऑफ कंजर्वेशन ऑफ एनर्जी के हिसाब से क्या होता था कि भाई फर्स्ट लॉ ऑफ थर्मोडायनेमिक्स में क्या था कि इंटरनल एनर्जी जो होता है डेल्टा ई, that is going to be dependent on Q minus W. That is Q क्या हो जाता है, that is the heat quantity of heat that I'm supplying. W obviously is the work done, and delta is the internal energy change that I'm going to take up into consideration. So what will happen is, if I now understand dE, so dE is equal to dQ minus dW. So dq minus dw will give an idea regarding, that is also written as d is equal to dq minus dw, and हमें क्या idea मिल जाएगा dq minus dw से, that dw can also be represented in the form of pressure volume changes, that is dw can be written as pdv, that is pressure and the small differential change that is occurring in the volume. Now then we have the second law of thermodynamics. Now what was the second law of thermodynamics? It was generally considered as the law of, that is the entropy changes also. So second law of thermodynamics is going to predict the direction of the heat flow, that is in which direction is the heat exactly flowing. And it is, it is going to give us an idea regarding the entropy and the free energy of the system. And then it will be able to get an idea, give us an idea regarding what exactly and how exactly the process is spontaneous or not. Then we have the closure statement, which was stating that heat cannot flow from cold body to a hot body on its own without the intervention of the external energy. That was called as the Cauchy statement. Then याद आ रहा होगा तो केल्विन स्टेटमेंट हुआ जाता था, जिसमें हमें पता है कि हीट को अगर मुझे हॉट बॉडी से फ्लो कराना है, उसको कम्प्लीटली वर्क में कन्वर्ट कराना है, तो मैं साइक्लिक प्रोसेसेस का इस्तेमाल करती थी, एंड पार्ट ऑफ इट कैन बी हीट हॉट से कोल्ड बॉडी में आसानी से ट्रांसफर हो जाता था. सेकेंड लॉ का डेफिनेशन या सेकेंड लॉ का स्टेटमेंट क्या होता था, that a spontaneous process will always be accompanied by increase in entropy of the system. Now what exactly is the entropy? याद आ रहा होगा, तो entropy is called as the degree of randomness or disorderness. Now what is degree of randomness and disorderness? तो याद रखना है कि कोई भी प्रोसेस, मतलब अगर सॉलिड्स के केस में एंट्रोपी बहुत कम हो जाएगी, गैस के केस में एंट्रोपी बहुत ज्यादा हो जाएगी. व्हाई? Because solids are very tightly packed to one another. On the contrary, gaseous molecules are very freely moving one. So what will happen is the entropy of the gaseous molecules of the gaseous system is going to be higher in comparison to the solids and liquid. So this was all about the general topics that we have studied so far from your 11th standard till your semester 4. Whatever topics have been present in thermodynamics, we have already covered. Now in the coming video lecture, we'll be studying in detail regarding the 0th law of thermodynamics, that is specifically in your semester 5 course. So till that time, thank you and thank you so much for attending the lecture.